understand you.
Don't you come back no more.
You can't mean that.
Don't you come back.
Oh, now, baby, please.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Oh, woman, don't treat me so mean. You're the meanest old woman that I've ever seen. I guess if you say so, I'll have to pack my things and go.
That's right, hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Now, baby, listen, baby, don't you treat me this way. Well, I'll be back on my feet someday.
Don't care if you do, cause it's understood. You ain't got no money, you just ain't no good.
Well, I guess if you say so, I'll have to pack my things and go.
That's right, hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Well,
Don't you come back no more.
what you said?
Don't you come back no more.
I didn't understand you.
Don't you come back no more.
You can't mean that.
Don't you come back.
Oh, now, baby, please.
Don't you come back no more.
What you trying
The time in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 5 minutes, 40 seconds after 8 o'clock. Good evening to you, wherever you are. Good evening to you, wherever you're listening to us. And good evening to you, wherever we FM is being heard. We are located at Windy Point, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tonight's program is called Feedback. My name is Kingsley, and the program is currently sponsored by Basil's Bar. You find them downstairs the Cobblestone, obliquely opposite the Mariners Hotel, and you find the main stay in Musty. Good evening to you, and we're glad that you take any time off to be with us. Compliments Basil's Bar, and we really appreciate you. Well, here what happened, right? I have something on my mind, and I want to speak about it, but I have to do it with honesty. And a lot of people may not agree with me, and some may say, well, you're probably right, eh? But I want to ask you some questions before I get into the meat of the discussion. Before Dr. Gonsalves, when he was Prime Minister, made the call for general election November 27, 2025, a lot of Vincentians were calling for him to ring the bell, including Patches. He rang the bell and people went out and do what they did. And some of us came to a conclusion that the voters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines had a referendum on Ralph Gonsalves. They go out and they vote overwhelmingly for the New Democratic Party. And I come to a conclusion that they wanted to get rid of Ralph Gonsalves as Prime Minister, and they had a referendum on him, and most people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines participate, that he will send a message straight to him. And what they did is to send him home and make him the new opposition leader because he wanted to see. But here what happened. Have you been paying attention to the governance of the NDP so far by Dr. Friday, Sinclair Lake, Daniel Cummins, and the others? And when you listen to them, what sort of conclusion you come to? That's one of the questions. And if you look at Dr. Gonsalves, when he was Prime Minister, he made made it passing, made government look easy, and he gave us the impression that he and the ULP had all the answers for everything in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And one thing they used to be boasting on, especially C.L. Marshall and Anthony Daly and those persons, is that Dr. Gonsalves, over 24, 25 years, were consistent in making sure the person get his salary every month. And that gave an impression that government came over to be so easy. But that's not true. Dr. Friday is the Prime Minister. And I get the impression that if not all, most Vincentians seem that they are at a conclusion where they want to give him a chance to see if he could be a Prime Minister with his difference. And you know who I blame for all that? Dr. Gonsalves. Try to make government look so easy and governance looks easy. You're hearing complaint coming from Daniel Cummins that the environmental or the humanity effort in the ministry is not as healthy as it should be. Stench there, mold there. Listen to Lorraine Friday as Prime Minister. He say, why Dr. Gonsalves say the State House, which is owned by the people, Cemetery Grange, and provide an avenue for whoever become Prime Minister to live. Dr. Gonsalves is saying when he left there, it was livable. Had some problem, but it was livable. Dr. Friday is saying now he's Prime Minister. He's not fully satisfied that the house is livable, according to Ralph Gonsalves, and Braxton say that the house needs some sort of repair. You hearing complaining, and by the NDP, and it probably justified. It's probably justified because if you sit down and think, have you heard about all these complaints about the infrastructure development in St. Vincent for the last couple of years? Well, the Minister of Road, now Minister of Transport, he's asking most questions about roads. Nigel Stevenson always complaining about the roads, and we supposed to see that when he stood as Minister of Agriculture, did complain that some of the feeder road needs repair. The Minister of Education did say that in Richland Park, Hopewell area, the road did need some repair. So that road commentary is surfacing that roads there. Is it fair to say that the ULP and the Minister of Works and Transport at the time, Montgomery Daniel, left these roads infrastructure to deteriorate? Would that be a fair assumption? I don't know. I'm asking you. So when the lines are open at 9, you can call me at 457-99-97. Tell me. We hear Daniel Cummins, who long before he became an Minister of Government, always giving the impression that he is prepared to do the work and make the ministry look well. But I heard him complain about a bucket drop of water fell from the roof right in front of his office, the door to enter to the office of the Ministry of Health. We hear everybody is complaining, and we want to know why these complaining now surfacing now the NDP is in government. And I don't think they're fiction. I think they are real and they exist. Because I get the impression that if not all, some of the infrastructure deteriorate badly because of neglect by Dr. Gonsalves, Montgomery Daniel, and the other parliamentarians them. And I'll give another prime example. Just before the ULP lost government, we hear by the sideways that they had some issue at the Argyle International Airport. And you may say, Did you know about it? Yes, I know about it. Why didn't talk about it? No, I couldn't talk about it. It wasn't fair for me to wash my daughter in public because I'm self-employed, but I'm engaged at the Agale providing my service. I didn't think it was right for me to come out publicly and criticize the infrastructure in terms of the runway at the international airport. But you will see you do it now. Well, it's surface. And I see Dipcon at the airport today. I get the impression that they're walking. And you will say, well, Kingston, you were never fearful. Well, I probably never came over fearful, but there are certain things that I could have speak about that I didn't speak about. And the reason why I didn't speak about them is because it appears when Dr. Gonsalves was Prime Minister, he didn't take lightly to criticism. And he used to remind us generally, see that airport out there? He worked hard, and no doubt about that, he worked hard. He not going to sit aside and love some lowest common denominator like me who subject was research in school, criticize the airport. But when the complaints surface about the foreign part of certain aspect of the international airport runway, I didn't speak about it because I was fearful. I was fearful to speak about it, and rightly so. And I believe that people in St. Vincent and Grenadines, and it have a lot of supporters in St. Vincent, like Lanford Weeks and Kojo, and a lot of people who supported Gonsalves. And whether Gonsalves was right or wrong, Gonsalves was always right for them. I did not cut from that cloth at all. And so we grow to understand that fear of criticizing was not a luxury for us to criticize anything that would have need to be criticized. It would not sit well with Dr. Gonsalves. So Vincent, in the back of their mind, never did that. But when you listen to some of the complaints, you hear that the police station is falling apart. Well, when I pass going to the Agale International Airport every day, I used to pay attention to the Stubbs police station. And when I look at that building, I used to ask myself, people living there, are they working in there? Is a outlet at the solid waste project. The place was looking so bad. And like I said, not because I didn't want to talk about it, but is it fair of talking about something that is true and what might have been the result if you criticize everything. So I decided to just keep quiet. But every time you hear I elected parliamentarian who becomes a minister of government today in the NDP, they criticize almost every infrastructure and they give the impression that is a high level of neglect. I don't know if you come to the conclusion or you're paying attention to what's taking place. Listen to all of them and you wonder, are these complaints genuine? Well, of course, they are genuine. Kingsley, how you come to a conclusion? Because when I hear them, I took note and I go around to certain institutions and pay attention. And it's really unfair because our country, and I don't want to see our country degenerate where whether you support Ralph Gonsalves or Lauren Fred, who is currently the Prime Minister, and we allow it, as Vincent and allowing our infrastructure to fall apart. And like I say, Ralph Gonsalves used to make government look simple. And I myself, when the NDP won the election, 14-1, I was so surprised because I was hoping a change would have come. But while I did see the change will come, I knew that Dr. Gonsalves had 8 seats that I think the NDP could win, but I was really wrong. and to the referendum that Vincent took on Ralph Gonsalves in the next election manifested itself where the NDP won 14 of the elected seats in St. Grenade. And when you listen to them, they complain. When I listen to Mr. John, Teacher John, I heard him making his commentary, and I find his commentary on the budget was simple because I look at him as a simple man, and he used his speech to speak to the simplicity of him paying attention to what taking place. Complaints. And I often wonder, these complaints surfacing so badly. Would it be fair to say that we had neglect by Ralph Gonsalves and Montgomery Daniel, who once acted occasionally as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Transport, didn't pay attention? Did we hear Subotu Caesar making his voice loud when he was Minister of Agriculture about the infrastructure in some of the road? Did we hear any of the former parliamentarians speaking to the neglect that are currently surfacing? And who should we blame? Somebody might say, Kingsley, do you think it's poor governance, micromanages by Dr. Gonsalves, are just badly neglecting the infrastructure? And I don't know what conclusion you came to, but I think it's neglect. And it is going to be costly. Look at the house where Vincent Shan built for whoever become Prime Minister. Dr. Gonsalves said it is livable. Friday said no, it needs some repairs. Braxa said it is much more bad than they anticipate, and they're going to cost 1-point-something million to do some repairs. That build a new house. And all these things surfacing, and for some reason, we never used to hear about them. They had to do some serious renovation at the Central Police Station. They are currently working on the temporary structure they had at Stubbs. If you pass at the Bible Police Station, all the galvanized by the edges and the health center is rotten off. The one in Georgetown, which was painted in yellow, the color faded out. And something was wrong, but the lack of constructive criticism when it was made, or if it been made, would have created a negative impact on you, because Dr. Gonsalves didn't sit well to people criticizing his government. And would it be fair to say it is poor governance, or just to say neglect governance? Too much of things you're hearing by the elected parliamentarian today who's elected that should have been looked at. And it is going to cost we as Vincent Shan much more money to maintain all these infrastructure. And, you know, like I said, this is on my mind for a while. And I decided to speak about it because if you don't agree with me, it's okay. You may say, why are you agreeing? Well, I am agreeing with the complaints coming from the elected parliamentarians. I don't think they will go in the Honorable House and wherever they speak on other platform to say that they meet a neglect ministry that will come and say you can't breathe properly for fresh air at the Ministry of Health. Police complain to Minister Lika, they're sleeping on the ground. The beds. When I went upstairs the Calico police station one time to file a complaint, I hear something drop down in the place. I said, what are it? And a man drop off of the bunk, you know. go straight to the wooden floor. So I know that the Calico police station was in a disrepair for quite some time. But I don't know why public places like that was badly avoided being repaired. And it take this new government to come and making some promises that they will look into all those complaints that are currently made. And I don't know if it was poor governance and badly observation by Dr. Gonsalve or persons who occupy these offices just did free to complain because they know Ralph Gonsalve would not take lightly to them criticizing. I mean, it is really sad that after 24, 25 years of governance in Simmons by Ralph Gonsalve, who most Vincent Shan think was doing a relatively good job because he could maintain paying the salaries every month. I saw here Anthony Denny and Sia Marshall saying that, well, Ralph Gonsalve maintaining paying his, like paying salaries and benefits is poor relief and thing was just the only thing that they were doing to make sure that they have a reflection that Ralph Gonsalve was on the right path. But now you listen to Dr. Friday, Major Leacock, Daniel Cummins, Mr. Road, Minister of Works and Transport. It's just a complaint. And you may say, you think they're making excuses? No, they're not making excuses. I believe everything they say. I believe that the infrastructure was left neglect. And Kingsley mentioned the police station. You dare think that the current commissioner of police could have called Ralph Gonsalve and say, Prime Minister Gonsalve, the police station is falling apart, Even somebody called Subotu Caesar, tell Subotu Caesar, and he knew that the road network for Feeder Road was bad. He had to keep that information to himself because come and say, we want me for any money to do all that, And it is really sad. It's really sad. Like I say, I from the Bel Fountain area, and some roads started long before the last election call. Today, the drains and the preparation for resurfacing and things is already complete. But the roads itself still need to be resheeted asphalt and some fine tuning. There is a road on Calico. If you're in Kiefer where you drive, you knock down some corners and rubber drum and you drop in some serious manhole. Things was terrible. So when people came out and voted, and let me tell you something, who listened, everybody know that I was a well-wisher of the ULP. Everybody know that I had some humanity for love for Dr. Ralph Gonsalve. Not because he told me one time that he don't want me vote for him, I go blight him, but it didn't work out. I voted for him and he lost. Dr. Gonsalve lost because people got fed up of Ralphism. People got fed up of Ralph being the Prime Minister for serve as the world boss and 6 in a row, and they start thinking about the 7. He got complacent. And Vincent Shan said, hey, what happened? We are going to have a referendum on you. And let me tell you something why I'm using that word referendum, because, hey, the last rally that the ULP had at Richmond Hill Garden, Peace Memorial area, I hear Gonsalve begging for electorate to lift him up. Please, I beg you, please, to lift you up that night. I realized that Dr. Gonsalve know that he could possibly lose the election, but I don't think he anticipates that he will get 14-1. I hear him saying 1 better than 14. He probably mean in parliamentary presentation, and he's going to create an impact with his experience And while we have Dr. Friday, Sinclair Laker, Daniel Cummins, the most experienced one, I agree with him that he being the opposition leader will create an impact on Parliament. And I also observe, when they decide that they're going to suggest that the current speaker is the speaker, I met her in court one time. I had a matter. And she sat there and she listened to the matter. And when the matter was dealt with by then Magistrate Pompey, I heard her whispering, but the whisper was so good that I could hear she saying that she was convinced that Mr. Pompey decision was good. While it was against me, from that day I look at her and I say, she seemed to have a level of impartiality and fairness. Yes, Kinsey, I lost the case, but I have to be honest. The person who did the case for me was Joseph Dell, one of the best lawyers in Vincent, and another good lawyer in Vincent was Arthur, somebody that's called him Bones, and the Fitz Richard, and the sitting manager at the time was Bertie Pompey. And I listened to her as a lawyer discussing the matter with two others in the bench, and I say, she appears to be full of impartiality, but here, I look at her and the function of her as Speaker of the House. It appears that she understands that she is responsible for the function of the House. But I have a little problem from where I'm sitting observing her. I get the impression that she thinks because the appointment came from the NDP, she have to rule in favor and make it sound like the NDP on Friday is always right. If you compare speakers who sat during the NDP time and the speakers after Hendrick Williams, Alexander, and you mentioned Jomo Thomas and Senator Rachel Ford, former speaker, I thought those were the two persons who did demonstrate some high level of impartiality in the function of the House when they were speaker. I'm also hoping that this current speaker will do justice to this sitting of the House. But would it be fair for me to say, I'm wondering if my imagination is telling me I'm wrong. Because one thing NDP did when they were in opposition, walk out and stay out of Parliament. They had a habit of doing that. And I heard the current speaker, and I'm paraphrasing it because I don't want to misquote her, when Dr. Gonsalves allegedly leave the Parliament because he showed some frustration. And she said, while he is back, it shouldn't be like that he could just leave and come when he feel like, well, hey, if the rules say so, the rules say so. For me, I don't agree with that. Dr. Gonsalves is elected by the people, and if you figure that the sitting of Parliament is not going away, it ought to go, and he using the walkout strategy like the NDP to get across his point, I have no problem with that at all. And I don't think that the speaker should make that be an issue and suggest in so many ways that Dr. Gonsalves must not do that, because she could use the House rule, and she did quote what section of the House rule to say, here is an honorable House and you are not allowed to walk in and walk out as you feel like. Well, if what she did cite the rules, I wrote it down, but I can't remember it off of my head. So I'm in the interest of not saying what she didn't say, not going to repeat it. But I get the impression she was saying to the honorable leader of the opposition, This is not where you walk in and walk out if you feel like you might have some privilege, but that is not exclusively reserved just for persons who want to walk out as they feel like. But people who listen to me, if you know her, remind her the NDP had the walkout plan. Everything they walk out. They walk out. Someone that one time they were pushed out. Yeah. Seriously, you know. And I'm really lost for words tonight. If I'm sung confused, then I am not confused. I am just disappointed that we as Vincentian sat around, came to a conclusion that Dr. Gonsalves made government look so simple and he was doing a good job. Now we hearing the amount of neglect. We realize that things was actually being neglected. I don't know if it was lack of poor governance, monies was not available, and some other things. But I tell you something though. I hear Dr. Gonsalves as opposition leader making an appeal for, I think it's some up in South Rivers, Connect. I said to myself, Dr. Gonsalves really wasn't it, you know. You are Prime Minister. You're the only person in front minister had Prime Minister. You sat as Minister of Finance. And when you wanted to make that route, you really wanted to make Kamala Gonsalves more compelling, you suggest to the Governor General to appoint Kamala as Minister of Finance. Well, that's the biggest disappointment. And now he's reminding the Minister of Health, who said openly in Parliament that Dr. Gonsalves, you are not my friend. You expect that Dr. Gonsalves is going to make an appeal for Daniel Cummings as Minister of Health to make sure the people of South Rivers get their care. Well, if I were coming, me fixing none. Why? You are Prime Minister, you should make sure all them things they are properly done. That is why I never really admire Sir James Bichelino. I didn't think Sir James did enough for the people in Beckway or the Grannies in particular. I think they should have a state-of-the-art health center in Beckway. I think they should have a state-of-the-art water distillery plan. I thought they should have a state-of-the-art solid waste. So I didn't think that Sir James did as good as people make him out to do when he served as Prime Minister. And I'm expecting now Dr. Llewellyn Godwin Friday as Prime Minister will do the people of Beckway, especially Beckway, justice by getting all those roads that he used to complain about need fixing. You're Prime Minister, Minister of Finance, so allocate the money. Because let me tell you something. If for some reason your party and you do 1 term or 2 term or 3 term, when them term they finish, you talk about neglect, they will remind you what the neglect took place when Robert Milke and Keith and them was Prime Minister in the party. And it's just so bad that that's the way the politics goes. Imagine Dr. Gonsalves in Parliament asking the Minister of Health. I'm hoping you're not forgetting that we need to get that clinic in South Rivers, you know. Hello? Really? Gonsalves should make sure that you have to micromanage for your people. I went up there the night before election and they were doing some work on the road. Went up there yesterday, where the road left off before the last election was called, is still in the same position. And that, I mean, I don't think where we are not in a good position at all. The complaints I'm hearing from members of the NDP about the poor infrastructure and the development and service and the Grannies. And look at Gonsalves, now he's opposition here, and I say, hey, Dr. Gonsalves, what you used to do? You used to just govern so people say that you could pay salary when the month done, and whenever you're ready, you go left, right, and center. I'm hoping that the NDP leadership will pay attention to the infrastructure development of all public buildings, all roads, and make sure they have a comprehensive response to some of the things. I feel so bad when I hear Ralph Gonsalves say that while he's living at the house, it was livable. He admitted the word livable. That's what he said. But no, that should never come out of Ralph Gonsalves' mouth. You live there, you have to make sure maintain that building there. Because if Dr. Gonsalves did that when he was Prime Minister, we, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, would have been saving that sizable amount of money that we are paying for a rent house or prospect to house Dr. Friday. It's our money paying now, you know. When they go and shop, buy supermarket, and when they buy something, it's a combination of all Vincentians putting together. And like my friend Franklin Saver said, say in so many words, if we come into government, we should make an assessment of the expenditure and the recurrent expenditure and the amount of ministers and senators who have ministerial position. We should avoid some of that in terms of saving the monies that some are paying. Because I can remember, you know, Conway says, God bless his soul, he was elected parliamentarian, never had a ministry. I can remember the gentleman who ended up acting as Prime Minister when Sir James Alpian Allen was parliamentary secretary. Took some time to reach up where he did, but to just come in and make all the elected parliamentarian full ministerial responsibility, that financial cost is on Vincentian. And let me tell you something, I hear they say they was going to reduce the VAT from where it is to 13%. Is any impression that they continue they making that effort? You know the amount of money that the government is losing with that proposed reducement from VAT. I can remember the then Prime Minister Anna used to say VAT generated $18 million more than he anticipated for a financial year. That's the amount of money that they get. And like I say, everything that took place over the last 24 years came over with a level of simplicity. I don't know if Dr. Gonsalves knew that he was doing it, but what we're hearing about some of the complaints of neglect, it appears that neglect was deliberate. You can't have your elected parliamentarian them going into office that smell like a washroom. You can't have your parliamentarian them going into office and have to use an umbrella to pass into the front door. You can't have the rank and file, the police officers, not very comfortable. Police station. Nobody didn't tell me, like I tell them, Missy upstairs the Caracas police station. We should be saying, people live here, because let me tell you something, the station go 24/7. So the workers who work there stay there. So that's the living quarters. And the neglect that we are currently hearing and seeing is about negativity that took place. The time in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is 17 minutes, 22 seconds before 9 o'clock. You listen to WFM, and we're going to take a break to advise you who is our sponsor. We come back with your thoughts at 457-99-97. Our fights lead to 99-97.
Whatever you are celebrating, birthdays, anniversaries, engagements, retirement, or just celebrating life, The place to be is at Basil's Bar Kingstown. Established for over 38 years, we are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with an exquisite ambiance. We have a set menu and 3 a la carte menus to choose from, and we are flexible to all requests. We go above and beyond to serve you. Basil's Bar Kingstown, where it's more than just a meal, it's an adventure. Call for reservations at 457-2713.
It's Feedback with host Kingsley DeFreitas. This and every Tuesday night from 8 p.m. for 2 full hours, right here on WeFM 99.9. Join him as he brings different guests weekly on this informative and interactive program. It's Feedback. To be a part of the Feedback program, call us at 457-9997 or send us a WhatsApp at 457-9997. It's Feedback.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Oh woman, don't treat me so mean. You're the meanest old woman that I've ever seen. I guess if you say so, I'll have to pack my things and go.
That's right, hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What you say?
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Now, baby, listen, baby, don't you treat me this way, 'cause I'll be back on my feet someday.
Don't care if you do all this on the
15 minutes on to 9 o'clock. You listen to WeFM. We are located at Windy Point, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And let me say special good evening to all those posters on our website who is following us. Can comment on most of your commentary because they probably suit the platform where they are, but not the comments cannot be read on our radio station because the words and the language sometimes are too strong to comment on. But you're there and we appreciate you in our audience, so you could do that. 457-9997, 532-9997. We seem to have our first caller. Good evening.
Mr. Kingsley?
Yes, sir.
Yes, like, you know, I agree with some of the things you're saying there. Because I will tell you why. Every government that comes into office, that's how we pay to do. No, when the government comes into office, the most of we pay they have to do. Schools they build, police stations they build, and still going. The government they have a pot of gold. So when I hear people complaining about this nigger and that nigger, look, the government take people, put them in a jail to live because they're going to pay over school, the things that start there. And all this kind of thing. You don't have a part of it's $5 million to do a mile road, you know. It's $5 million when this government comes into office. Almost all you want to say to the bank, almost all, especially one gone to fancy, bridge over what we call that thing. You think in this country you have to cut a goal to say, put us do this and do that, you know. There is a you say $5 million make government look easy. Because this man, they come in, they just can't come and get everything nice. They got to repair things, they got to do things. Because government never stop prepared, no government never stop prepared. Even if this government, this other one had they go and again, this other one have come and still have repair. Because you repair something or build something new. In a 4 or 5 years, you got to repair. And try to fight so fast. So when I hear people not take time over repair and look at the neglect, you don't know neglect father. Where you have money to do, and when you get the money to do this thing. And how fast you could sometimes you will pay something, you will pay $1 billion today, in the next year you don't go and buy again. In the month of building, the government will pay by the year and pay to think that the government neglect something and neglect. The government says we level best with the resources they have. And he keep on borrowing. They say, oh, you get caught up to all, he bet. Because we live in a third world country without no gold and diamond. And I really can't stand with people saying about neglect and this neglect. But there was workable, it was livable, but it's like a pay that when you break a house, you stand in a board rotten, a police station floor rotten, we are board. When you break one, everything rotten, you know. It's everything that is shiny, it's a glass thing that we look in this on both sides. And it speak I house, and I have more respect for it because at least he used to give them plenty of trouble when I was in opposition. When they came back home, then I was 9 business to do. And I hate he's still saying that you have to go back patient to get smack up to eat, to get some food. They're not them sick. They might think me here, they sick. I plead that I ain't going on them, tell I road to them. We chat side and run them and we put aside nobody in that way. Because God put them in happy. Because I the God stronger than the board put together 10 times. So me not going to put aside if God put them there. He know put them there and if he if to move them and if to keep them. And to remember not like one time, I will say what he want to do. And pray for them. Me no lady because I respect God. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you. Well, here, I don't know if that comment was designed to amplify the neglect that is surfacing by the departments and public buildings that the NDP is speaking about. Okay? Repairs of any building should be consistent. And when you look at some of these schools and the other things in Simplicity or development area, it appears they were neglect. And we seem to have another caller. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Max.
No, I don't really want to counteract the caller before you.
Mm-hmm.
But when ULP was in power, and man like Max Walker highlight neglect, supporters of ULP used to say, all me have to run down the country. It's no neglect. The government doing an amazing job.
Yes.
Now the proof is there.
Now you call Max, you know, in a post I don't hear for a while, Lance Neverson. When are we gone?
Me no know.
Lance Neverson and Mr. Langford Weeks, when you listen to their presentation, you used to think, well, they were a part of the function of the government and making sure things happen. But now you don't hear them now.
Well, maybe they don't have maybe their purpose have already been solved.
Well, you could be right.
Or maybe they see it as such that they was pushing ULP, but they weren't pushing St. Vincent. So now, because ULP is not at the helm, having a right on the boat again, must jump off the boat and ride a rubber again.
Well, you could be right. They probably jump off.
You know what I'm saying? But the neglect is obvious. And when you listen to the budget over the years of the ULP, money being allocated for this, money being allocated for that. Every Monday morning, Carmelo come and tell us, money going to spend on this, money going to spend on that. And now we new government go there. You see the neglect. And me, for one person, used to get a whole heap of inbox, Kingsley, from public servants who was afraid to highlight issues, because when you highlight an issue, they must send you down a my road.
But Max, you're making a very good point, because I put myself in a position to admit that when these things surface at the airport concern the runway, I knew about it, but I didn't speak about it because I know what could have happened.
They would have knocked food out of your mouth.
Exactly.
You know, no white people have been coming at your taxi, even if you have the best taxi out there. They would have prefer put the white people in a donkey cart but put them in a Kingsley brand new vehicle, because Kingsley go undermine the government.
But you know what? But you know why I went down to the area where I see they storing some aggravate and some equipment that they like seem as though they intend to do some work and the existing problem that they persist in at the Aga airport. And it's good. But I couldn't speak about that long time because I don't want to
Okay.
offend the authorities at the AIA. I don't want to refer to anything because Dr. Gonzalez does not take lightly to criticism. So
So
I
look
know
at
about
the police
about it.
station.
I know about it. Gonzalez never like to be criticized. So now I get the
Well,
opportunity, let me do it.
People used to send me thing when me talk about it, bam boom. The press secretary come and say he's lying. No, not there.
Wait, what you did?
When he, me not know me been see at my airport when me leave January and he come and me he had a good reason because at the end of the day all we have in matter of fact people vex when me take picture with him and
Okay.
me not have no problem with no Vincent unless they violate me data.
Yes.
People vex me and Candy man take a picture. Me say me tell her something and at the end of the day all we love St. Vincent we might love it differently,
You take a picture of who?
Candy man.
Oh.
Wait up, me not talk. Oh.
Never mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me been Candy man at the time he say me been lying a whole lot day, but at the end of the day they had chuck when the airport closed when between flight they had chuck and go the people have to go all pan them belly like Mongoose gang. I remember Mongoose gang.
Yeah.
All pan them belly like Mongoose gang. I take picture for nobody not see for them cause stand up give me. So me could see lucky picture of them yeah. Some of them say AI.
Yes,
But this is the type of citizens that we need for St. Vincent to prosper, where we could criticize the government and get the government to do the people work.
Well, Dr. Friday promised that he will listen and he will implement any idea that is good. So let's hope that he does that and make sure that St. Vincent and the Grenadines benefit for the attention he decided to pay to the Vincentians who had a referendum around Gonzalez.
Okay, and we're going down a road and a Kings and Agla, you touch that. We're going down a road that when you criticize NDP, a lot of people are cuss. Somebody tell me me only have strength for NDP, me not be no strength for Labour because we criticize NDP the other day. Me just say, okay, thank you. Oh, me never argue with them because if them they could tell a lie.
Yeah, but your name is not Jeff Providence, so they couldn't make it about you at all. Jeffrey Providence, boy, oh Lord have mercy. Watch your man.
That me brethren, Anna. That me brethren.
Watch your man, eh?
But neglect is a lot of neglect going on in the country, and we cannot allow these facilities to get in those conditions again in the future of St. Vincent. In the event NDP fix them, because NDP attack, we don't have to wait for see what they're doing.
Yes.
Because anybody could talk. Action, we are waiting, banana.
Yes. I agree with you that the neglect is too evident, and we need them to be addressed and by the current government because it's our taxpayers' money who have to build those projects that they will be identified, and we hope that the NDP could deliver. Okay?
It's great, especially the police officers and them, because them is the one who we are holding responsible to hold our bring safety to our country.
Yes.
And them man are supposed to do safety and comfort. Okay, so you could say one of them jump off a bunk. Suppose him man did lash it back and cripple.
I did upstairs the character punches. I hear some jump and I look at the man jump off a bunk. He bunk foot go through the slow rate. I say, wow.
Wow, suppose something be happen to him now and then hey, wait, some accident happen outside. They say, oh, police can't come because police lazy. Wow, we don't know him man up the mash up because he's simple bed na fix.
Yes.
Right, come on, we gotta do better. But Kingsley, continue to blaze your fire upon your show, eh?
Yes, man, thank you. Okay, man.
Yes,
yeah. 457-99-97. We need to hear your opinion on the proposed neglect that continue to surface by the NDP and the poor governance that's surfacing today in terms of our infrastructure development. And I get the impression that the neglect was deliberate and it doesn't sit well with me as a Vincentian because it is going to cost us too much money. You could send your thoughts at 457-99-97. You could type if you want me to record your voice, or you can call us at 457-99-97 or 532-99-97 to be a part of tonight's program, which is currently sponsored by Basil's Bar, situated downstairs in Copperstone, obliquely opposite the Mariners Hotel, and you get the main ingredient in Musty, and the proprietor is Basil Charles from Basil's Entertainment. 457-99-97 97. So lots of infrastructure depletion taking place, and I get the impression from listening to the NDP that it was neglect. I don't know if it's because of lack of money to fix them or just blatant neglect, but they are servicing today and they are costs, and it will be very costly to be repairs. And we hope that Dr. Louis Godwin Friday will find the monies for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to get these neglect projects and things that they have planned to do in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Roads, repairs of clinic, repairs of polyclinic, repairs of the Learning Resource Center. I see one out now, and they started to lose its color. I don't know what is taking place. And I will be saying that when I heard the minister of, I think it's a minister, Velox, saying that the 3 sleeping policemen that was put down in Calico Main Road going to Fairhall, that a private company gave her the reason. Because the first time they put them down, the night I was trying to go home, I eventually had a frightening impact. Bam, 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 because they were that visible. So when I came on the next night, I make sure, but they were painted in yellow and white, so they did had a reflection. I told you that night, I say my engine drop out. If they've been tall. Yeah, you know exactly the first one coming by page here. Oh my Jesus, boy. My front end, they drop off. Up and up, I still silent for the vehicle. I hear noise. I said, boy, I wanted that is a manifestation of that unpainted road sign, or that problem was there all the time. I just manifested itself because of neglect. Okay? Yeah, neglect is the watchword today that we're trying to see briefly. But we had that particular topic. I don't know if you want to change it and go into something else. I listened to the Honorable Elected Parliamentarian for Central Leeward. I hear Max and his friend, they're making some excuse for him. But I promise that I'm just going to leave him like how I didn't make any comments about Clayton Morgan. How should I describe what I heard from him? I was disappointed in his presentation, and I hear Spencer Huggins and other people saying that he's going to improve. Improve way. I don't think that. I think he should just stick to his ministerial duties and do the work for the benefit of people of Central Leeward and try to stop compete with people who are public speakers, okay? Because while you are an elected parliamentarian, that doesn't qualify you to be a speaker. Just try to do your work. And I'm hoping that my elected parliamentarian for Western Georgia, Mr. Cupid, spend a little bit more time in the area and observe some of the roads. Because if ever road going over to Debbie Forest and over there, it is in a terrible position. And the road that going to where Mr. Cupid lives, well, before he came over as an active politician, the ULP started fixing that road and it is complete. But I tell you, lots of work is to be done by the NDP, and they promise that they will do the work that they promised and much more that we expected. And I'm hoping that they will find themselves in a position to do those work, because our country need them urgent assistance in terms of maintaining our public buildings, our infrastructure here and everywhere, feeder roads, main roads, drains, clinics. It's frightening to see what has transpired. And like I say, I don't like the choice of word when Dr. Gonsalves say that the house is livable, but with a conjunction that tells you you can go on and imagining what is and how bad the repair which is currently needed at the house which is built by Vincent Shanfor, whoever become Prime Minister now, then, or in the future. It's just frightening that what taking place. You know, and you see all the effort which was being. It appears that were they significant, or they were just done because Dr. Gonsalves was trying to make an impression that I am Ralph Gonsalves, I am the only person who get it done. Continue, give me 6 in a row. But it's a good thing, like Steppin say. One man a day in leaders and one man a day in government, and we have to have that change to point out some of the weaknesses that took place over the last 2 terms of Dr. Ralph Gonsalves' office. I mean, yes, I know he tried to make government look simple, and he did it because his micromanagement style and the way he used to get things done came out on surface, and people used to do that. But it appears today it was just a miss and it was never real. And we need to see a little bit more emphasis being placed by the new government and things like that. I wonder what people think about the observation they're making about the current speaker. Do you think that she came over with a high level of impartiality and fairness? You were asking about the question, what do I think? There's room for improvement from her towards Ralph Gonsalves. I agree with you that Ralph Gonsalves would use his experience as a parliamentarian to put her under pressure, but we have to remind herself that the House rules will guide her how to respond to a point of order or a query which was going to be made by Ralph Gonsalves. But I don't want she to foster the climate where Cummings could speak to him as he feel like, the Minister of National Security, Sinkaleka, should use the issue of Ralph Gonsalves, then made a request to get some sort of qualified security to get at Dr. Gonsalves. I think that they need to demonstrate some level of fairness, because when the comments are made that they think, because we used to use it in our war days, that the Takaway Devil and the Imshop. That was quite obvious that Sinkaleka was referring to Dr. Gonsalves. It may sound nice to generate some hostility across the floor, but it's not parliamentary language to refer to. You know how, you know what Dr. Gonsalves used to do to aggravate Daniel Cummings? You remember? Call him my friend. And he used to say, I am not your friend. And that used to, but I can't use the word piss off on the radio, Daniel Cummings, but it used to aggravate him. Don't call me, I'm your friend, I am not your friend. But Dr. Gonsalves realized that is parliamentary language you could use, but it's how it is being used. We seem to have another caller. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Hey, good evening, Frank.
I promise not to be long.
I didn't hear that part. What you say?
I promise I ain't going to stay on the whole program for the rest of the night.
Okay.
Now listen to me, my brother.
Mm.
The first, there are a few things I want to address.
Yes.
I don't have to agree with Leacock every time. But apparently, Leacock made some statement about it is easy, this gun license thing. And people want to put him to task for that. But it is a fact. The thing is, though, too, there are portions, I'm telling you, in the ULP administration, you have a business carrying thousands of dollars to the bank in the evening, and you couldn't get a gun.
Yeah.
On the other hand, You got somebody who talking stupidness on the radio every morning, he got gun.
But he got the impression he put him in trouble though.
No, but no, he ain't getting no trouble. You shoot a man and I don't know why they do, and he ain't getting no trouble.
Okay.
So, listen, it is far too easy. Everybody just can't stop and leak up his right. Now, while I'm talking on that,
But before you go on, Frank, our friend former Commissioner Keith Miller used to be very hard on issuing gun license till they move it from him and create a board. And our friend, the Cuban Cutlass, used to complain about he don't have a gun license, but that was one of Miller's policy. Gun license, you have to fulfill certain criteria before you have a gun license.
I could understand with a person with a business being money, but what? We could go and get gun license. I tell you, you know, some people offer me to put me on the board enough. Well, a fella named Hans King recommend me. I say no. Let me tell them that.
Yes.
I say no. You know, and matter of fact, I didn't want to be on the board. And now that I'm talking about board, I am hoping, I start out wrong. In Vincent Grenadine, $3.4 billion in debt. We need to address the issue of reducing debt. Okay, so now, the next thing I want to talk about, I don't know who's responsible for this one. The ULP passed a law all up in the air about tint and vehicles. And Likaka, whoever, you need to enforce the law.
Especially with the front windshield. Especially with those vehicles who have the front windshield tinted.
You on the two sides, so you can't see a soul in the thing.
Yeah.
If we want to address this, because I understand some of the people who go around shooting people, you can't see them.
Yeah.
So that is one of the issues that must be addressed immediately, Rika. Enforce that thing. Enforce it. You just hire 20, how much, 50 police? Give them some okay.
Yes.
Right, next thing. Why is it, I wonder, why were the police raiding people in Loman Bay this morning? Kicking down the door, I understand. I wonder what kind of information they had. I wonder, trust me, I think I know the answer, but guess what? I don't have fishing boat, and I can't be in the area where they claim Americans blow up boat and whatever floating in the water.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Now, I talk about the board just now. The NDP needs to get rid of them. Get rid of some of them. Baxter should be gone. And then, what do you want the land settlement? Well, I call it land settlement. Can't remember the exact name. What government doing with that? What is that? You get board for that. Something about properties and this and that and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact name now.
Yeah, what would they were talking about? Yes.
They need to. You're reducing the deficit. You don't need these people. And I'm saying again, I would have liked to see Daniel Cummings. You get rid of Baxter? Make Daniel Cummings the Minister of the Public Works man?
Yes.
No, I don't know, but every one of these guys got 100 things they're minister of. 100 things. Minister this, minister that, minister that. And everybody know my position on that too. I wrote about it in 1998. That you really need all these ministers. Minister is ecclesiastical affairs. Please give me a break. Oh, another one. When NDP started to give out licenses for radio back then, I think I think my partner Alpi and I wrote, I said then, okay, that is the time. Now you got Dougie, you got this, you got Jews, you got everybody. Why does the government need a radio station? I said at the time, get rid of it. Why taxpayers must pay for that? Get rid of it. You have enough news outlet information now to government order radio stations. Let me explain to a bunch of people how it came up. Early name WIBS. Back then, you had WIBS, Windward Islands Broadcasting Service. Fellas couldn't afford this and all this waiver thing. So they came up with that. But once we became independent and so on, and they gave a license to everybody, why do we still need WIBS, whatever I name now, about to taxpayers? Get rid of it. Never still on radio. 150,000 years ago, you had one TV station in the country, and they decided they could help this guy out, help you out. So that every TV brought into the country, you had to pay a fee.
Yes.
I remember a few years ago, the guy complained that for 100 years, he didn't see a dollar of that. Why is the fee still there? Why? Why is it that you bring in a TV, for what? You need to get rid of it. That fee for that when you bring in a TV.
Yes.
Get rid of it. No, my brother, I listen. I heard Mr. Marshall, the one to be oh Christ, fella name gone off my head. The nice man in America. With the braces and so on, they want to be him.
Who want to be like him?
Sean Marshall.
Uh-huh.
Larry King. You want to be Larry King.
Okay.
So he and then 49.
So he got a program called President Please. You ever listen to it?
For 2 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, Larry King. You want to be Larry King?
Yeah.
No. I heard them, he and 49 running off the mouth and talking about, well, 49 forces talking about VAT free day and how much this and how much that. Then they went on to 22 million for this and that and that. I want to say something. You think if rather than just give bonus to every Tom, Dick and Harry, the government had those people who were suffering for years, you think if those people were the person who get in the money, you think Cian or 49 could go to be running up the mouth?
Definitely not.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, again, I hear my partner talking about when you do this, you lose, the treasury lose money. But I remember, I remember the year right now, Ralph Gonsalves went in there and reduced the capital gains tax, I think, from 40% to 35%. Did the government lose any money, Ralph? But here what happened. When he did that, Mr. Eustace was complaining that the government lose that. And I fetched with Mr. Eustace because I say it should have been 10%, come down to 30, not that. Because guess what, Kingsley? Anybody who tells you that when you cut taxes, the government loses money, full of crap. When you leave people with their money, they're going out there in the store and all about and spend it.
Yes.
And the government collects more revenue that way.
Yes.
I got Mitchell confessed to that, you know. I want to know if Ron Gonsalves, when he reduced the capital, whether the government lost the money. So when they come now about the VAT free and Treasury losing money, that is simply not the case. You leave the consumers with their money, they're going to spend it. Yeah, another problem I have. I hear them union people always asking for increase. What is the good of getting an increase when your taxes go up? Rather than balling for increase that burdens everybody, because everybody got to pay now to pay that, ask for a tax cut rather than ask for 7% pay increase, ask for 7% reduction in the taxes. Trust me, you're not going to lose any money. The government will make money. And let me cite an example for them. In 1980, apparently Ronald Reagan became president in America. And he reduced that capital gains tax I talking about it from 60 to somewhere down in the 40. Anybody go check it? The government revenues almost doubled. Almost doubled. But there's only one problem with that. For every dollar the government gained from that tax cut, some people spend $1.50. Yeah. They went and spent $1.50. The government people on them. And I'll tell all who was in charge, who did that. Them Democrats. I mean, money was floating, business good and all of that. Because people have money to spend, Kingsley.
Yes.
Leave them with their money and you will see what will happen to the economy. So that stuff we're talking about Treasury lose it. Treasury didn't lose a dime. I'm telling you, they gained. Which is why it should have been 10%, not 3%. The quickest way, you have a sluggish economy, you don't raise taxes. You cut it and put some fire in the economy from people spending.
Yes.
Now, week before you raised an issue, and really, most of us slighted it, about your sickness, and you think you should be compensated.
Yeah.
I remember Anisha Batiste and them tried to organize something, so that people who are suffering should come to some kind, so that they should be considered. Because in England, in 2019, before the vaccine came out, they spent £1.5 million to set up a thing to monitor the people who will be injured by the vaccine. Yeah.
Yes.
So they got the scheme up there. I think if a spouse, depends on what this kind of thing, your spouse die, anything, one BBC reporter died, and her husband, £100,000. But the fellows walk and all this and all of that and that. It was insufficient. Because she did, And furthermore, in England too, they're rejecting a lot of the people. Tell you, if you own the 3/4, this and if you hear something? So, you could hardly walk now. And they tell you you're not injured enough. In Australia, they have a similar thing. Same problem the people getting to get the money. But how many persons in St. Vincent that in Barbados, they promised, they didn't put it into a law, that they're going to pay injured persons. I have a thing, I think I said it to you.
Yeah.
Where the people protesting because they made these promises, you got sick people, you got people dying, and they're not providing the money.
Yes, but I see Moti promised to address the situation. I wanted to see where they will go with it, you know?
Who promised it?
Mayor Moti.
Oh, okay. Because if they promise, they're going to pay people, the injured people,
Yes.
and nobody can get no money. Now, it's just curious, isn't it? How come nobody in St. Vincent didn't think of that? Oh, wait a minute. This vaccine, the St. Vincent vaccine must have been different to the one they got in England.
But you know, Frank,
Yes.
we never underestimate Dr. Joel Thompson. I believe that he's one of the best internal disease specialists in Vincent and Grenades. Highly experienced, but I would love him to take the lead to suggest to the governments that people who suffer, and the evidence show that they suffer shortfall because of the consuming of the COVID-19 vaccine, should have some sort of compensation. But Dr. Thompson tell me when I told him so, he said, the problems I'm having is not because of the vaccine, because of the underlying challenge that I have. But hey, Dr. Thompson, the underlying challenge that I have is the vaccine. No wake them up. So the vaccine have to take the responsibility for what took place with me and took place with other people.
That is precisely the evidence, Kingsley.
And
people, I got a big doctor in Bangladesh, I think. His brother, his cancer was in remission.
Yes.
He went and took the vaccine, and the next time they go there, he said his brother's back light up like a Christmas tree. You know, after that he came out, he's all over the wall against the vaccine.
Yeah.
He said his brother's back lights up like a Christmas tree. There's another doctor they can't remember in England. His father died, an Indian fellow. He was there promoting the vaccine until his father died. He all about getting and asking them to pull the vaccine. But in St. Vincent, Thompson was on the radio saying that people like Alicia Batiste and Spencer Huggins and Frank De Silva, and not only him, a fellow named Pigeon, he should be charged with causing fear and alarm. Yeah. And so the thing is, now that we have this there, the other day, Leacock asked Jimmy Prince a question about the excess debt. And the answer was absolutely asinine. The thing is, now that they are there, I find that they should go in there, and I don't know, I keep saying this, I mentioned it for the union people and them. How many teachers died between 2020 and 2021? How many teachers have died between 2020 and 2022?
Yes.
And there it is. So we could get the information. I just got a document here. I tell the phone from Australia. 4 of the most heavily, 80% vaccination. Guess what, Kingsley? Excess deaths like joke. Excess deaths like joke. Where it was more heavily vaccinated than where none happened. As a matter of fact, you know if this was going on, it ain't about excess deaths in England, Australia, and all of them. America. Well, America is worse. I got something here, 480-something thousand excess deaths. And it's only linked to one thing, the vaccine. Only linked to one thing, the vaccine.
Definitely.
So, we need to get this. I'm saying, I expected after Leacock asked that question, that by the time the numbers would have been available to Vincentian. So there are people out there suffering, Kingsley. I remember I spoke to a lady, but I told her, well, she working someplace, and she had 60-something days sick leave. I suggested to the lady that she go see Dr. De Freitas. He said she's saying, and I'm asking the people out there, all the suffering is nothing to be ashamed about. Organize yourself. Kingsley was never ashamed.
Up in all Mr. Ashamed, me got say.
Well, there's no reason for you to be ashamed. They force you to take it.
Yes.
So, y'all, please, this suffering here can't go on. I'll recommend someone, if you're feeling again, I could recommend Dr. De Freitas. We'll see him. But something needs to be done. Just like Barbados, just like all them other places. For these people who are suffering, to get some kind of compensation.
Yes.
I got on for now.
Okay then, thank you.
Right.
All right. 457-99-97. And let me say good evening to Becca Mate. Becca Mate, good to know that you listen, and we really appreciate you in our listening audience. Anta, I haven't heard for you for quite some time, but yeah, I did hear you over the weekend. Bigging up yourself on Valentine's Day, was downstairs with the foot, them cock up for me, they may look for want me to listen to you. And let me say good evening to Rat. Let me say good evening to Anicia Baptiste. I haven't heard from you for quite some time. I understand that you listen. And I have a guy, he tell me he listens to the program all the time. He own a company called, we just call him Fly on King Garden. Yeah, he say he listens to the program all the time. And all the persons who met me at the airport, use the ones who are going back to Barbados to the States, especially Canada. We thank you for your support and your encouragement. And let me say a special good evening to my sister who's listening. Good evening, sir.
Hey, Kingsley, good evening, my friend.
Good evening, Becca, mate.
Good evening, Kamal. Good evening to my radio friend, and to all, and to all who's listening. Yeah, I haven't heard about the last couple of times. She's having
a problem with her voice. She did something that she shouldn't do, so it's having a negative impact on her voice.
Okay, well, tell her she needs to try some whale oil. She needs to get some whale oil from Beckwith.
Yeah. Well, she probably needs to try some whale oil, or a guy who use whale oil quite regularly. Yes, okay, good.
Well, no, I'm happily married. I'm happily married. But yes, she should get some whale oil from from ask someone from Beckwith to see if they have any whale oil. That really worked.
Yes.
But anyway, because I was listening to your program. You have a very interesting program tonight.
Yes.
And I'm not going to comment on the call. Sometimes some people have to remember there are other people who's trying to get in, but that's for a different time.
Yes.
But one of the things that I'm going to mention, well, first of all, let me mention that Dr. Gonzalez is a good politician. I'm not going to take that away from him. And secondly, I do not hate Dr. Gonzalez, because a lot of people, when you call and you make your opinion heard, they say, he's a Ralph hater. I never met Dr. Gonzalez. I don't hate him. Why would I hate the man? I mean, he's done, as you and I have spoken and talked about it, he's done well for St. Vincent.
Yes.
But I think that it was time for him to go, because, look at what happened in Parliament. Look at what happened in Parliament when he went there. Because and these are the reflections, Kingsley, of when they allowed one person to run everything in St. Vincent. These are the reflection that comes back. Yes. Because now he gets in Parliament and he can't have it his way, and he's ready to pack up and run home like a little schoolboy. He's a grown man.
Yes.
I mean, stand there and if you have a disagreement with the speaker or another member of Parliament, address it. Take it like a man, as Mr. Straker said. Take your licks like a man.
Yes.
Accept it.
Yes.
Yeah. But I am, and I'm not, going to really criticize the new government. The new government is a new government. They just started. We have to give them a chance to show us that they cannot do the job. You know, you have to give them a chance. It's just they're young government in 2 months and maybe a week or so. Dr. Friday, just sit back, Kingsley, and listen to Dr. Friday. He's so articulate, he's so eloquent, he's so straightforward. He's not hiding anything from the people of St. Vincent, you know, and the Grenadines. And when I listen to some people who have so much to say about Dr. Friday, I sometimes ask myself, where were these people within the last 25 years or so, you know? Because Dr. Friday he don't speak down to us, he speaks to the people. You know, he speaks to us, he's let people know where he's at. He said, if he can do something, he's going to do it. But as I said the last time he was on the program, he promised that he's going to get the people a bonus. He did. You know, he promised that he was going to reinstate the people who was laid off from the vaccine mandate. He did. He promised that he was going to do so many other things, and they need some time to get stuff together because they have to go and research some of these things.
Yes.
It's like, and I said this to someone on another program, and somebody wanted to chop my head off because I remember that Mr. Beach said that if he didn't have integrity legislation in 100 days, don't look for him.
Don't look for him, yes.
And right. And he has dead and gone. 24 years and a half later, we still didn't have it. And you didn't hear all these people who have so much ills to say. Where are they? Where were they when these things are happening? Then, you know, I listened somewhat to someone call a program and say how hard St. Vincent is now since NDP gets in office. And I'm saying that these people are not really, they cannot be honest with themselves.
Yeah.
Because you had a government who was in office for 24 and a half years, Kingsley. These are all the trickle-down stuff that is coming down from them. NDP now have to go there and build themselves.
Yes.
Build themselves. Right. So let's just give them a chance, you know. And I know I'm not going to hold your program up but just give the NDP, Dr. Friday, Mr. Leacock, they all have good intentions for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yes.
Mr. Bramble, everyone, we have to give them a chance to do their job. We can't criticize. 2 months? Are you really serious? 2 months, really? And have a good night, Kingsley, because I know other people would like to call.
Okay.
But, yes,
right,
you have a good night. As always, to take care of that grandbaby of yours.
Yeah, thank you, Becky. Yes, okay, yeah. So the last caller is saying that he's expecting really benefit for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines via the NDP, but he's saying that we need to extend the honeymoon period so they could deliver on some of the plans they made and take us beyond the plans that they have made for the first 60 days, because you can't get everything in the first 60 days and you can't get everything in the honeymoon period. You have to provide the infrastructure in terms of time to see where we will go in the next couple of years. Let me say good evening to my sister, Anne-Marie de Freitas, Valerie, Colleen, and all the ones who are listening. And let me say good evening to Mr. and Mrs. Jordan. We seem to have a caller. Good evening.
Hi, Kingsley, good night.
Hi.
Yes, good night. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay.
You think because I ain't calling you and I recognize you?
I know you. I know you recognize this call.
You're better than my friend, at least you call.
Yes. I always listen.
Yeah.
So I will call, when I get the time. But I always
you know I do the Thursdays program now, right?
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So I just need to share the like and let people know.
I will.
Yes.
Okay, here. The last time, right? Not last week because it was not.
Yeah,
before that, you had asked back we made about what have they done since like their days, name some things, right?
Yes.
And we all have to be honest. I'm listening to Beckwith Maid, and he was like, oh, they deliver.
And the
what
VAT
they
free
said they
day.
would, with the double bubble or
Yes.
whatever they call it.
Yes.
But he have to remember, yes, they deliver, but he have to remember what they deliver is not what they promise. They had promised double salary. They did not deliver double salary.
But I agree with you that the word bonus and
Mhm.
double salary,
But salary
is
bonus
completely
also
different.
they
Yeah,
deliver.
I agree with
It
you.
is completely different. So right
Yes.
there and then, that is untrue.
Mm-hmm.
That's one part of it. The other part of it, oh, we're gonna double public assistance. Public assistance was not doubled. 140 went on to 360, make it 500. How
Oh.
could 140 be half of 360?
Yeah, well, they probably meant that they're going to take it to 500, but I agree with you. To say they're going to double it was not the right choice of word.
Right.
Yes,
So
yes.
misleading, right?
Well, I
Misleading.
wouldn't say misleading, but it was just mind-boggling to hear they say.
There's no mistake, you know. I'm going to put that as no mistake. Me ain't putting no sugarcoat nothing for them, you know. Me ain't sugarcoating nothing for them. 25 years they was there in opposition. 25 years they should have known that the money was it moved from 50 what they had it as. When Dr. Ralph Gonsalves
Oh yeah,
take
it was $50 at the time.
50 in their time.
Yeah.
Right. When Dr. Ralph Gonsalves went there's more, how much time now? 3 times now he already put on. And another thing what he did, instead of just giving the 360, he we're going to call that. He gave 3 months. 3 months of the $80 that he put on.
Oh yeah, the retroactive.
you know,
Yeah, the
he
retroactive.
backdated.
Yes.
He backdate all those money
Yes.
for everybody who was giving money too.
Yes.
And they hope they didn't forget that. Another thing too, I hear the Major Leacock was telling Dr. Ralph Gonsalves about DEATH and DEBT.
Yeah, I hate
But
I hate spelling word.
I hope they're gonna remember when all are gonna happen if we have, God forbid, when we have those that they claim them as well, because I can't see Dr. Ralph Gonsalves could stop people from killing people, eh? And that is something I don't like. Don't give him what is not for him. Be honest, because why I'm not hearing no parents' name being called, you know. I'm not hearing parents responsible or anything, you know. I am hearing government. That is being unfair, because if my son go out there and do something or one of my daughter, how can I blame the government for that?
Well, as you say, St. Kelly could find himself in a compromising position if the
Yes.
homicide rate go out of
Yes.
whack, because
Definitely.
they used to criticize Ralph Gonsalves and blame him. But as you say, it is unfair to blame politicians for the issue of that kind of crime, because we can't know what somebody is concentrating to do
No.
while we
We
speak.
can't know where they want to wake up and where they want to do and where they're planning tonight or tomorrow or
Yes,
next year
yes.
or 2 years from now or whatever. No, that is unfair.
Yes.
That is, I mean, I will be honest if they're saying certain things are done and whatever, but let me be honest with you all, right? If you all want to be honest in this. How many chance did they get to do repairs and all of that? Remember, you know, he built most of those stations, you know, most of those schools, you know. You see how the children just vandalize these schools? You see how these children just vandalize these schools and then tell me, police station. Yes, if you build a home, Kings, you don't have to, and you have people in it. You don't expect them to clean it and to do certain things to it.
Yeah, and they have to be consistent in the repair. You can't just leave it for a period
Okay,
of time.
yes, some repair have to be done, because when things like toilet and all of that, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
So what I am saying, right? What I am saying with these things, right, is that I can't see they just putting all the blame like that on the government. People have to know when like they build these things, they have to take care of them as well too. They have to take care of them, Kings. It's just the same. Any people going and repair them or rebuild them or whatever, you know. So they don't think that these things gonna get destroyed the same way also too.
Yeah.
And how many times did they get the chance to do that when we had the 2013 flood? Then we had I think it was Hurricane Thomas, we had Beryl, and then we had the volcano and all of that. We have to put a lot of things into consideration. I'm not saying okay then to pardon them or whatever for what happened to these police stations.
I agree with you. I agree with you that when Dr. Gonsalves sat as Prime Minister, he had some trying time.
Yeah, a lot of challenging time, Kingsley. We have to understand that.
Up to now, I can't imagine where that 2013 flood storm came from. Just out of the way, on Christmas Day, people stove and ham gone away. Then we had the volcano. It was terrible. Gonsalves had a difficult time.
Terrible, Kingsley. I was there in the house waiting for my curtain to put up,
Yes.
And the person who was bringing my curtain from Barbados almost got washed away in front of the home.
Yes, it was terrible.
When they leave the airport.
Yes.
So we have to all put things into consideration. He is not God, and we expect him to do everything, move mountain, do this, do that, wherever. But I hope when the table turns, everybody gonna understand what he had us to do.
Well, like
it seems easy.
Like I tell you,
it seems
like I tell you, Mary, Sinclair Leacock listen to this program, and I hope that when you get these criticism as Minister of National Security / in charge of police and crime, that he will give serious consideration to people who call and make some critique and try to deal with the issue of fighting crime. Yes.
Yes, because let me tell you, you see why I live in here? You're talking about I'm wondering what's going to happen to these children. Where I am living, Kingsley is like a school keeping here every day from the time 10:30 children in school here.
But here, Mary, I passed through where you live in the area, right? And I stopped, but I slowed down to go down in a hole. I had an experience wrong there. Well, old people say, your belly hot until they walk there, right? I father point something to me resembling a gun and tell me I must pass by money. I say,
I'm telling you.
And I remember Chester Connell say that he had something similar happen to him there. I could never forget when Chester said so. And I tell you,
think a lady also,
man, Mary, I frightened like the 10,000.
And the home opposite me.
Right there.
The home opposite me right across there.
Yeah,
somebody came right down and shoot. Yeah, shoot up right there in the room with two little children.
Man, I tell you, man, I said, me and Levin got me done wrong there. You know, I'll come there again, see. I frightened like dog.
Let me tell you, I don't know, but what is going on, they go understand it. They will have to stop the blaming this one, blaming that one, and speak to the parents, and let the parents and them have the children and sit them down and speak to them and stop every minute expecting government to do this, government to do that. Oh, the government should have done this for young people. How much thing this man did for young people? Parents have to take up the thing here and stop having all this blame and all of that.
Yes.
Things I don't want to hold up a program no longer. I just tired of hearing excuses and blame.
But thank you for calling. I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening, okay?
Yes, I will. And you take care and get home safe.
All right, thank you.
Okay, then. All right, bye-bye.
457-9997. So I was saying good evening to my sisters who is listening, and Shireen and Destiny and good evening.
Kings had to call back after the lady there. And she made some very good points,
Yes.
And I want to make one suggestion to her. When them children they line in by where she live, she need to call the police and like police them come there.
And shake them up.
Or have a police patrol there.
Yeah.
Don't do it publicly because we don't want the children of them know who you be, because they might want to come do your thing. Let's not call them pointing like you. They might take you pass up money.
They might store the house.
Suppose you was a license firearm holder when the boy they point that gun they give you defend yourself.
Boy, I tell you.
Then they say, oh, Kingsley kill pick me nigga.
Hey.
And when like Kingsley gonna try crucify Kingsley because you defend
Mark
yourself.
say here's something, right? I go down some place in Vermont a couple of months ago, right? And I get close to the area, and when I reach in the area, I blow my horn, but not aggressively. Tell the person I want to pass. But the person stood in the road for quite some time, so I use the horn aggressively. The person came to the side of the vehicle to my driver's door. You know what I remember? A guy tell me don't care what a guy is strong. Hit him under his throat. He can't resist that.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, then,
you
yes, that you win.
Max, you know that what me have to do forget out the place. If you see me turn wrong.
So you have to defend yourself.
I have to defend myself there because me you know what you're gonna do. He come by the door aggressively. I say you're so stupid and if your throat exposed. By mistake. I mean,
But suppose it's a sharp razor blade you had there now, and you say, wait.
Well, I've been telling that for sure. I tell you,
but
people don't know the kind of challenge you face out with people these days, man. You have to be so
man,
careful.
people they just give man a little kiki for just say, brother, me car there.
Yes.
Me now all show.
For the man just
And he
get
come
aggressive.
and this and that.
Yeah.
Now, to address what the lady was saying before me there, as far as blaming the Prime Minister for crime. Remember he been blamed Randolph Toussaint and Michelle?
Well, he did make some statement, and he said he didn't say it, but I could remember him making similar statements.
Me being a little boy.
Yeah. I didn't hear his statement.
Remember that?
I heard his statement, but after he come and say, anybody who repeat what they say he say and he didn't say, he gonna put them to court, so I just keep it. But I heard him.
Man, me hear the recording. Recording on my social media page.
Yeah,
but guess what?
I
We need to stamp that mentality out of our culture. No, because he blame Randolph Toussaint, we blame he. No, we are going to turn around and blame Leacock. Remember the late Jerry Jard say any government say they could solve crime. Them I tell you lie.
Crime is
That's what I'm saying. And it's obvious she's a ULP supporter. She wants us to give Ralph Gonsalve grace because he have difficult times. But the same grace we want to extend to Ralph Gonsalve. Let me extend that same grace to NDP now if NDP meet difficult time. If them go budget, I'm just saying if as an example, not making excuses because most liar people upon the earth a politician and preacher. If I think a politician I will tell her the truth, I better think again, especially on the campaign trail. You understand? If NDP say we're going to double salary because Carmelo Gonsalve as the Minister of Finance, yeah, we have $3 in the treasury. And now we only have to spend out $1.50 to fix up such and such. When you reach there now, based off what Carmelo tell all you, say, yeah, we could double salary based off the numbers Carmelo tell all you. When all you reach there now, the numbers different from what Carmelo tell all you number be. So I say, boy, we really can't give them double salary now. We have to give them something still, eh?
And you call it a bonus, right?
Well, during the camp, he most lie. Just on the campaign trail in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Look, then how talk about the integrity legislation. Part that day. How are we not hold them accountable for that?
Vince Reach walk with that.
You see what I'm saying? So you can't, anything that happen on the camp, not giving NDP a blight because they're still mama guy people. To be honest.
Yes.
So we have to give the same grace you want to give Ralph Gonsalve. It's the same grace you have to give NDP. Obviously, you don't like NDP because you're a Labour man and you like Labour because you're NDP man. But at the end of the day, you have to look for the greater good of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and just wish them good. Me no NDP man, me no ULP man. When me contract NDP, really people give me up, but me no NDP man, me no VP man. But it's the level of hypocrisy.
Yeah.
That they go come on one hand and condemn a government for something. 4 months later, them are defending new government for the same thing they condemn the old government for. What are we doing? That point I want me. Kingsley, have a good night here and you get home safe. And if you see any fallen people in a bush, drive fast, not slow down for them could do anything, and to the powers to be, hopefully you could get a license firearm so you could defend yourself, because a little youth man who come tell you give up your money. Suppose you had some gas in your car.
You say I must pass up the money. So which money? You do
Suppose you had a white man in the car, and the white man was a social media person, and the man sought at the video recording to see nice breadfruit and nice coconut tree, and the youth man they come in the man camera and say what he said. Next thing the man go on YouTube and talk they go vex the white man because you white man have pulled on Vincent, right?
Boy.
Parents talk to you pick me at them. You know how you children them stop.
Yes. Okay, Max, thanks for calling.
All right.
7 minutes, 30 seconds on to 10 o'clock. You listen to WeFM, and we have our final caller. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hi.
I just wanted to put my because I was listening to Parliament. I'm relatively new into Parliament, right?
Yes.
And when the Minister of Security was speaking,
yes,
and he referred to the former Prime Minister as devil, right? And you know that could aggravate somebody, and you never know what somebody can do with something that they don't. And being the Minister of National Security, and you want peace in that point, but you're not setting an example for peace. Because now, it's just there. These gang members, when they pass one time, say something, they aggravate the other one, they sort of react it. But you're not setting an example where you said something and you just want to say, I'm okay, then I said this, but I'm sorry. I should not have said that. It's just an example so that it couldn't show the ripple effect inside of the country where persons can forgive.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you with the observation that when they spoke about the devil and when Gonsalves came in, they say, you talk about the devil, here comes the hymns. It's not parliamentary language. But I think Sinclair Leacock was just playing to the NDP political gallery. So when they meeting, they say, well, I hear beat up and laugh. But as you say, it is a poor example. I agree with you, it's a poor example.
Yes. So I just wanted to share the one that is convinced to better.
Yes.
Example.
Yes, and we appreciate that, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you. And that's a good way to end the program at 5 minutes on to 10 o'clock. It was the Tuesday night feedback program sponsored by Basil's Bar, and like I say, it was quite interesting, and the last caller did say, and we hope that the parliamentarians who hold those high offices could demonstrate some level of maturity and stop try to play to the political gallery like Max said. If he did it when the NDP started in opposition, now that they are government, the young lady is saying that you should lead by example, and people expect you to lead by example because the expectation from Vincent paying attention to the NDP is that they will do much better and make life much easier. Because I think they did say, when the NDP win the election, the life of every single Vincent shall get better immediately. All right, have a good week. See you all right here Thursday, 11 o'clock in the morning. I gone.
Whatever you are celebrating, birthdays, anniversaries, engagements, retirement, or just celebrating life, the place to be is at Basil's Bar Kingstown, established for